Hey y'all, thanks for watching my channel. So today I'm going to go over some signs and symptoms of ADHD, and I'm going to specify whether these are adult or children symptoms. Sometimes they're the same, it just kind of varies person to person. And of course, only your doctor can truly diagnose ADHD, but here are just a few helpful symptoms and signs just so you guys know. And they've changed the way they diagnose now. It used to be you exhibit symptoms for 4 months. Now it's you exhibit symptoms for 6 months. So let's get started. So first of all, there are 3 types of ADHD, and that is inattentive, hyperactive, and combined, which is obviously the combination of hyperactive and inattentive together. Let's start off with the signs of inattentiveness. The first one can be lack of attention to activities such as schoolwork or work. If you're missing projects or just kind of like hastily doing them, or your work ethic has changed, that is a symptom of inattentiveness. The second symptom is lack of sustained attention. So maybe you find yourself wandering off during work meetings, or a child may experience wandering off into space, daydreaming during school activities. So the next sign is inability to complete tasks. So maybe you start them and you just are, you lose attention or unable to finish it due to being distracted. That can go for children and adults likewise. The next sign with inattention is poor organization. Either you're messy, you're poor time management, so you miss meetings, you are late to school, you have a hard time waking up, you just have overall poor time management and bad organization, which that's kind of part of time management, is being organized. The next sign under inattentive is losing things that you use daily, such as your keys, wallet, phone. For children, it may be their notebooks for homework, their school books, things like that. Things you use on a daily basis that you notice yourself like starting to lose a lot lately. Yeah, that's a sign. Now, another sign of inattentive, which is more so in adults, is forgetting to pay bills, forgetting appointments, stuff like that you would remember otherwise. Like maybe you put it in your phone and you still forget. So anything daily, like maybe your kid's soccer practice happens on Tuesday at 6 and it's every single day, but you suddenly notice yourself starting to forget, you may have developed ADHD. And as I talked about before in my other videos, ADHD can present itself at different stages and different times and for different reasons. So it may be because of something environmental, like maybe more stress at work or at home, school, job. It can present itself like that, or most of the time it's actually hereditary. So say you're an adult and your child's just recently been diagnosed with ADHD, you might want to look into it and kind of like look at yourself and your symptoms and think, oh, I might need to see my psychiatrist because I might have it too. That is 2 of the main things. Either it's environmental or it is hereditary. Those are the 2 main aspects that kind of provoke ADHD. Okay, so now let's get into the hyperactivity side of ADHD. And as we all know, fidgeting and squirming is obviously right up there on the top main symptoms, but here are a few others that you might not know about. So our first symptom is having difficulty remaining seated when it is expected. So maybe in class or at work, if you feel yourself getting up more to use the bathroom or whatever, just to get out of your seat. If you're having a hard time just sitting there, that's definitely a sign of ADHD. So another sign in the hyperactivity side is excessive running, climbing, jumping, or feeling restless. We all know kids will be kids, but if you notice your child has just an excess burst of energy that they normally don't have, then you might want to look into it. For adults, it's more of the restless feeling, like, oh, you can't sit still, or, you always are moving or fidgeting, or you have to be like doodling or drawing. For me, it was, I had to be like doodling or drawing something because I had to be moving, or else I would just feel like I was going crazy. Another sign on the hyperactivity side is inability to like cooperate with quiet activities. So maybe if you're expected to, take a test or something and you have to like tap your foot, or maybe if you're in a meeting, you're supposed to be paying attention to the speaker or watching a movie or presentation, you have to make noise, or you feel like you want to talk to somebody, that's a definite sign of ADHD. Another sign of ADHD, this presents more so in adults. You always have to be on the go. You have to always be running an errand. You can't really sit still in a movie theater or a meeting. And others may describe you as hard to keep up with, or just so super full of energy. That's a sign of ADHD. Another side of the more hyperactive side is blurting out answers to questions before the person finishes the question. This can happen in adults and children both. Maybe, somebody's talking to you about something and, you just want to blurt out kind of like what you think they're going to say next. That's a sign of hyperactivity. So the next sign of hyperactivity is inability to wait your turn in line, or just feeling overall like people aren't moving fast enough for you. And this can happen in adults and children likewise. I think we all kind of live in a world right now where people are so fast paced, but people with ADHD seem to experience these symptoms a little bit more. So the last sign I'm going to talk about is being intrusive. And that could be mainly in kind of interrupting people's conversations, or just jumping into their conversations, or answering other people's questions when the person's not asking you, they're asking somebody else, and you just blurt the answer out. That's definitely a sign of hyperactivity, ADHD. I'm actually guilty of this more so when my medicine starts to wear off. My Adderall is time for my second dose. I kind of start just rambling at the mouth. For children, it can be taking things that belong to others without asking. It could be interrupting the teacher in class, obviously. Another thing that is a symptom is kind of this intrusive symptom is maybe if you notice somebody's doing something at work and you're like, you're not doing it right. So, you take it over, or you take on tasks that really don't belong to you. That's definitely a sign on the hyperactivity side of ADHD. So I hope y'all found this video to be very helpful. And like I said before, it takes about 6 months of constant symptoms before a doctor will even, prescribe you any medication or do any further testing. But definitely, if you have been experiencing these symptoms just kind of like out of the blue, or you notice your child or a loved one, maybe talk to them about it, go see a psychiatrist and get treatment, because it will make your life 50 million times better. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to filming more videos about ADD and ADHD for y'all. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, week at work, at school, whatever you're doing. And love you guys. See you on my next video.